My sisters and I weren't speaking after I accidentally discovered they were talking badly about me. So I, 21F, am currently in a big fight with my two sisters, 20F, 18F, over me accidentally finding out they were talking shit about me. For some context, I just graduated college in May. While I was at college, I stayed in the dorms and worked as an RA. After I graduated, I needed to move out and asked my sisters for help cleaning out my dorm. I had warned them ahead of time that the place was a mess, and I didn't blame them if they didn't want to help. The reason my dorm was so bad was that a best friend of mine had suddenly passed away in a car accident over the summer, and I wasn't handling it well, especially living on my own. While my sisters were helping, my youngest sister, I'm going to call her Eliza, stepped into the hallway and took a hit off her vape. So not only is she a minor vaping on camera, she's doing it on a dry campus. I freak out and say something along the lines of, "Are you an idiot? Put that the fuck away." Both of my sisters and mother told me that I had overreacted and that it didn't matter because I was moving out. As I said, I was an RA at the dorms, so I know that if someone is seen vaping on one of the cameras, the police are called. And some might say, no one is going to sit there and watch the cameras. My boss would sit there in her office and watch all of the cameras, especially when someone was moving out, so it freaked me out. So not only would she be in trouble for vaping as a minor and on a dry campus, but my mother would also get in trouble for buying it for her, and I would be fined for breaking dorm policy. After about an hour, I thought that I did act out pretty harshly and could have worded it better. So I apologized, she accepted, and we moved on. I thought this was the end of it. Later on, I needed to call an RA to come do my final checkout. My phone was dead, and I asked to use Eliza's. She handed it over, and I called the RA. She then tells me I can play on it while I wait for the RA, so I do. I opened Snapchat to send one of my friends a video to tell him I finished moving out. I know they are friends on there, so that's why I decided to do it. I opened her Snapchat, and it opened to a text conversation between her and my other sister. We'll call her Ellie. I didn't mean to see anything, and before I could close out of it, all I saw was, all she does is use people and then treat them like shit after, and a bunch of other mean things with my name attached to it. This hit me very hard because Eliza and I are extremely close. Ellie and I, not so much. I expect this kind of thing from Ellie, but Eliza and I bonded over how badly Ellie had treated both of us for the last 6 years or so. So I was upset, and I cried to my mom about it. My mom was also surprised about Eliza saying these things because of how close we are. I didn't talk to Eliza on the way home because I didn't really know what to say. I wasn't even going to say anything. I was just going to pretend like it never happened. After not talking to Eliza for a bit, she sensed something was wrong and talked to my mom, and my mother told her I saw everything. Eliza was then mad because she felt that I had invaded her privacy. Fast forward to today. It's been a month and a half of not speaking to each other, mostly because I just wanted an apology. Eliza said she wasn't mad anymore by day 2, but the more I kept thinking about it, the madder it made me. The 2 days they helped me move out, I bought them breakfast and lunch and thanked them over and over again for helping. I was really appreciative of their help and the lack of judgment. So this whole thing really messed with me. And for anyone thinking, buying them lunch and breakfast doesn't mean anything, I would do anything for Eliza, and I thought she knew that. For her 18th birthday, I spent around $300 on her, and in addition to that, several months before her birthday, I bought her pit tickets to one of her favorite artists. And I did this because I knew my parents wouldn't get her anything, and I wanted her to have a good birthday. I also am the only reason she graduated high school. And no, I don't mean I helped her study. I mean I did all of her assignments for her. She was in online school, and I did every single assignment for her to make sure she graduated. But I do admit that I probably have treated Ellie badly before. It's all she's done to me for the last 6 years. Made fun of me, my appearance, my personality, everything. She told me and Eliza that we couldn't come to the hospital and see her baby after she was born because she didn't know if she would want to deal with us and didn't think we would act our age. That had hurt both Eliza and my feelings, and we shared this with Ellie. Anyway, those concert tickets I bought for her, the concert is next Saturday, and my mother has kept asking me if I'm going to take Eliza to it. My answer every time has been, I don't know, I just want an apology. So come Saturday night, Eliza texted me and said, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, but are you done being mad at me yet? This ended in another fight because I responded that all I wanted was an apology because I would never talk that way about her. To which she said, all I wanted was an apology for you invading my privacy. And I told her that it wasn't my fault she left the conversation open and that she was only mad because she had gotten caught. She didn't text me back after this, and instead, I received a message from my other sister, Ellie. To sum it all up, she basically said the same thing. All I do is use people and then treat them like shit. but in much meaner words and with reasonings that made no sense or just had more to the story than what she was leading with. Which, yes, altogether, it did make me sound horrid, but none of it was true. The whole text was awful and about the length of this Reddit post. She also mentioned how my text to Eliza was crazy, and that just because I saw my name didn't mean I had to read it. I left her on read because in the moment I was too upset to respond and knew I would say some very harsh things. So I never answered and moved on. And then I received a text from Eliza today basically saying that the text I sent her was insane and that I did invade her privacy and that I needed to grow up and how it was pathetic that a 21-year-old couldn't take responsibility. At this point, I'm just over it. I don't respond to either one of them. And I call my mom and tell her I'm done with it all, and I don't want to see either one of them. She thinks I should sit down with both of them, and we should talk it all out. I don't want to, and I don't think it'll be beneficial. I should also add that my mom has been going back and forth, talking to each of us about it. She's doing a bad job at playing mediator because she'll sit there and talk shit about me with them, and it makes the whole thing worse. She tries to do it with me too, but I just tell her all I want is an apology. She is instigating it all, and the only thing it's doing is making things worse. I'm sure I left some stuff out, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I just need some advice on how to handle all of this. I don't know what to do anymore.